All right, so I'd like to welcome you to this webinar, Gaining Clarity Through the Fog, Managing Chemo Brain Naturally. And chemo brain also includes brain fog as well. So if you are experiencing brain fog, this will apply for you as well. So just a little disclaimer about the presentation here that I'm sharing with you guys today. So the information contained on this presentation is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The information represents what I've chosen to do to take charge of my own personal health and that of my family. And statements on this presentation have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. So some of the products mentioned in this presentation are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And if you are pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or have a medical condition, consult your physician before using any of these products. So I'm going to start that day. So I was watching a movie with my husband one day, and I happened to put my hands through my hair like this, and big clumps of hair came out. And I was angry. I was pissed. This was my second time with cancer. So I was in the middle of chemotherapy, and I knew that the chemo was having its full effect on my body. And I also knew that it was just the beginning of some of the side effects that I was not looking forward to. So just to give you an idea of what every day of going through the treatment that I was going through. So my treatments were Monday through Friday, 8 hours per day. And I did a treatment called the acronym is BEP, BEP. So it's bleomycin and etoposide. So that was Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day on that particular chemo drug concoction. Then I had the weekends off. And then on Monday, I was given platinum, and platinum, also known as cisplatin, that was for 2 hours. And so this particular regimen lasted for 3 months. So it was over the summer back in 2014. And also, I had blood tests every day before the chemotherapy, and then also CT scans every month. And then also, my white blood cell count would also decrease. So I was given shots in the stomach, and that was neopogen. And I don't know if you guys have experienced that before, but it made my bones and muscles ache. That was kind of one of the side effects of getting that particular shot to increase my white blood cell count. And crazy thing too, with that platinum that I received on Mondays, the side effect of that, which really sucked. I didn't get any sleep when I got that particular chemo drug. It gave me uncontrollable hiccups for at least 2 days. So I got no sleep. I got acid reflux, and it just plain old sucked. So, and then a crazy thing about that platinum too is recently last year I had done a heavy metals test, and they found platinum, and it's from that chemotherapy drugs. And this is 6 years later, which is kind of crazy. So, and then, naturally there's constipation, had a loss of taste buds, had some loss of hearing, and then also the chronic fatigue was pretty bad too. And then about halfway through that summer of chemotherapy, I was having lunch with my husband here, and I felt like crap. And I was just like, I was basically, I wanted to give up because my body it was exhausted, and mentally I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And then my husband, Michael, he looked at me, and in his own Italian way, he said to me, it's like, hell no, you're not going to give up. So that kind of woke me up to keep fighting through what I was going through, and also that kind of fired up that inner strength that was in me. And that inner strength is in all of us when we go through situations like this. So some of the side effects that I experienced: no appetite. The chemotherapy killed my gut, killed my appetite. Didn't want to really eat anything. The most that I really ate was soups and some bone broths, and that was about it. I really couldn't handle any of the solid foods that I wanted to eat because it wasn't really appetizing. And on top of that, too, my loss of smell and loss of taste was gone. So eating food it wasn't pleasing at all. It actually I didn't want to do it. And then I had constipation too. So trying to go to the bathroom it was difficult at times. Not to gross you out, but I kind of compare it to, like having rabbit turds. My bowel movements were pretty dry, if you will, and it was difficult to go to the bathroom. So I did get some prunes, not prune juice, but regular prunes, and I knew that prunes would help with that, and it did help alleviate some of that constipation, which I was really grateful for. And then like the no smell and the chemo brain. I really didn't know anything about chemo brain. I heard about chemo brain, and then when I started to experience that chemo brain, I was God, I was really scared because I didn't know if my cognitive capabilities was going to come back. So I was forgetful. I would misplace things. I couldn't have a complete conversation or complete sentences. So that it was frustrating. It was really, really, really frustrating going through that, and it really concerned me at the time. And then obviously I had the fatigue. The fatigue was probably it's right up there with the chemo brain and the lost appetite. I was sleeping all the time, which made sense because the chemotherapy was having its damage on my body, and I guess that was one of the side effects was being super tired, which I rested. I'm glad that I did rest and not try to do crazy things and go run a marathon or something like that. So towards my chemotherapy journey, uh, typically in the type of cancer that I did have. So I had testicular cancer the first time, and then the second time with the chemotherapy, the cancer had spread to my mid gut. So then I had a tumor about the size of a good size apple. Hence why I needed to do the chemotherapy. And the protocol after this particular cancer that I had after chemotherapy was to get this surgery called RPLND. I'm going to try to say this. It's a long word. So it's called retroperitoneal lymph nodes dissection. And what that entails is, if you can visualize, so they basically would split me open from the bottom of my sternum right down to my belly button. They would split me open, and they would move the intestines and all that craziness that's in there, and they would take out the leftover tumor. And if there was any tumor spread to any of the lymph nodes, they would take that out too, throw my guts back together, and sew me up. So luckily, with the combination of the chemotherapy and focused on a really good diet, the best I could. I did some juicing as well during my whole journey through chemotherapy. With all that combined, I didn't have to get the surgery, which was awesome. I was so grateful that I didn't have to get that, because I've seen all the stories. I've talked to other men that went through the same kind of surgery, and they said after that surgery, their digestive tract is pretty much screwed up for life, which I didn't want, because I'm a guy that loves to eat and I enjoy eating. So it's like, if that was to happen, I'd be like, I don't know what I would do. So really lucky and grateful that I didn't have to get that surgery, and no radiation too, which is awesome. So the last day of my chemotherapy, being at the cancer center, I remember this. It's kind of I don't know why it happened on this day, but it happened on August 26th. That was my last day of chemotherapy. And that in fact is my mother's birthday too. So I guess it's kind of good, because you know what, I kind of suck at remembering birthdays. I remember that day now because that was my last day. So I was so relieved to be done with that chemotherapy. As you can see in that photo right there, went full on bald. I did get some of my color back, but there were times where I was pretty pasty and I had that quote unquote chemo look, being all white. And then, being the last day, I was so looking forward to recovery, because I wanted to get back into Zumba classes. I was very active in dance and Zumba and working out. So I was looking forward to that. And I want to share this with you guys. I'll try not to get too emotional, but this is my husband, and I'll let the video do the talking for you. What? Well, it's too close to your face, like this.
Oh.
Hey guys, as you know, I'm Steve.
Michael,
my husband. I just want to thank everybody for being with us along with my cancer journey since last year, 2013, and then recently with the cancer coming back this year, 2014. Thank you for all the thoughts, prayers, gifts, monetary donations. Truly appreciate all the thoughts behind everything. I'm going to start crying. I hate this part.
don't look at me.
What?
Keep going.
But yeah, hey, just talked to the doctor today, or the doctor's nurse today. So I had gotten my CT scan beginning of October, and that CT scan showed the tumor was reduced in half, and just recently got a PET scan, which was last week, and talked to the doctor today. And from the CT scan to the PET scan, the tumor, the PET scan has shown that the tumor, or any kind of cancer growth, any active cancer, is completely gone. So what does that mean? That means cancer-free.
Cancer-free, no surgery, thank God. But I still can't figure out how that tumor disappeared within a month after the 2 scans. But we'll let it go at that. I'm going to accept that.
So yeah, officially cancer-free today. So today's what, November 3rd or whatever. But cancer-free. Still got to do the 3 years of being observation, doing CT scans and blood work and stuff like that. But officially via the PET scan, no more cancer in this beautiful body of mine. So good news.
And I had to actually check twice to make sure that they had the right person in the right scan. Because, things do happen, but this is good news for us. And I guess I can have my release now. This is a good thing. And I just wanted to thank all of you for all your prayers, your thoughts, your support for both of us, including me. And, well, including me, not just me, but for Steve too. And we will be thanking you in our own individual way. We've already started to do some of that with some of you. So just expect little things from us here and there. And it just goes to show you that whenever you think and help and that positive thing gets going and everything, that amazing things can happen. And it's gone. It's just gone from his body. And if it can happen to him, it can happen to you. And we'll also be there for all of you whenever you need to go. Not whenever you need to go through anything, but if you ever have to go through anything, you can always count on Steve and me to be there for all of you. With that said,
can I have your release?
I'm going to go have my release now and have a drink.
And remember this, guys. Remember to love often, love always, love yourself first, take care of your body, laugh all the time, because what's life without some laughter and especially laughing at shit like cancer, and just living day by day, live in the present moment. And yeah, so thank you guys. I love you all.
Love you too. Bye.
See ya.
Hold on. Get away from me.
Well, you gotta love Michael for his humor. I gotta say that I got this saying that I made after going through this journey with cancer. It's called Love, Laugh, Thrive. And like how I mentioned this in this video here, this recording, that love, it's important to love yourself first and take care of yourself first, especially when you're going through such a challenge like cancer, because it is very challenging mentally. It is, and then to laugh through the crazy shit, because you know what, shit's gonna happen, obstacles are gonna happen. And just to laugh through all those crazy times and to thrive. And what does thrive mean to me? It's thriving in taking care of the body and the mind. And like I said here, Michael said it actually, with the mind, the prayers. I firmly believe in the power of prayers. That prayers and positive thoughts. That thoughts are things. There's that saying: thoughts are things, and thoughts are energy. It works. It really, really works. And I'm forever grateful for all the people that were part of our journey in my life back then, because those prayers helped out. And I'm not going to cry. All right. So here, just give you an example. So as I continued my health journey, so this is 5 months post chemo, and after I was no longer going through chemotherapy, focusing on my gut health and my diet and mindset. My hair grew like crazy, and I was hoping that I would get my jet black Asian hair back. I didn't. I got a lot of curly hair, which was pretty crazy for this Asian guy who's used to straight hair. Having curly hair was it was fun. I would get like a big old buffontus of hair because it grew so fast. But I mean, that's crazy. 5 months after chemotherapy, it was growing that fast. So I'm going to skip
Hey
this
guys.
video there. So here's what I believe. I believe that true wellness starts in the gut. And here, just a few minutes, you're going to find out why. So, who is this webinar for? So, if you are currently experiencing any kind of brain fog, chemo brain, or if you're going through some sort of cancer treatment, and also, I can't forget the caregivers. The caregivers are so important in my life and your lives too, because the caregivers are going to have moments of brain fog. Because why I say that? Because the caregiver is so focused on taking care of the person going through the health challenge that they may forget about their own diet, and that can cause brain fog as well. So, and then also, if you're here just to get information on how to manage chemo brain and brain fog naturally, you're in the right spot. And if you're wondering what kind of fruit that is that I'm holding, that is oh my god, I forgot, brain fog. It shoot. I'm gonna have to tell you guys later. All right. So what to expect? So here in about an hour, so I already did the introduction. We're going to talk about what is chemo brain, the causes, the risks, and then I'm going to give you some 3 awesome easy tips. And I do have a bonus tip, and then we'll leave question and answer to the end. So when it comes to the question and answer at the end, if you guys are okay, I would like to bring everybody on as panelists, and we can have an open conversation versus it doing it in a chat. So what is chemo brain? So most define it as it's a decrease in mental quote unquote sharpness and describe it as being unable to remember certain things and having trouble finishing tasks or concentrating on something or learning new skills. Even though its exact cause isn't quite known, it can happen anytime when you have cancer. So the mental changes can make people unable to perform activities like school, work, social activities, and it may seem like it takes a lot of mental effort. So, like in my case, excuse me, trying to complete sentences was difficult. I would pick up a book to read, and I would read maybe a couple sentences, and I would totally forget what I was actually reading, and where I would misplace things in the house, those kind of things. So if that happens, and if you're going through cancer right now, let your cancer care team know what's going on. They may have some recommendations. They may recommend that you go on some more drugs and stuff like that. And just another thing too that I want to point out, that in the cancer journey, when you're experiencing cancer, it's your journey. So it's totally okay what you choose what to do with your body and your choices and that kind of thing. So just remember that. And if you happen to be a caregiver or a friend for somebody that's going through cancer, respect that other person's choices, because it's their journey, and if you've been through it, you'll understand why. So some of the things that, like I said, you may experience trouble remembering things, concentrating, details like names and dates, larger events, multitasking. You could be like answering the phone while you're cooking, and you totally lose track of what you're doing. That is such an uneasy feeling if you ever been through that. So, what causes chemo brain? So, like I said earlier, they really don't know what the causes of chemo brain Maybe, but they're doing some studies recently that some of the causes may actually be from inflammation in the body. So I'm going to talk a little bit further on that. But chemotherapy, there's treatments like hormone therapy with certain cancers, like with breast cancer, and then also there's radiation, and then also surgery may be associated with chemo brain as well. So some of the risks that can increase the risk of developing chemo brain is, the cancer itself. For example, if you have brain cancer, it's going to obviously affect the brain and the rest of the body. If you have cancer in that part of the body, it's just gonna happen, unfortunately. Certain drugs like steroids and anti-nausea and pain medicines can affect the brain's ability to function, and then other conditions and illnesses such as diabetes and high blood pressure. And then you got symptoms like you're super tired, pain, and sleep issues as well. And then emotional distress too can happen, such as depression, anxiety. And then also there's the age factor as well. As we get older, um, our bodies they naturally degenerate, but to help kind of counteract that, I always say focus on diet, nutrition, and exercise to counteract that. Because, for example, if you guys remember, back in the day, the juice guy, Jack LaLanne, I think he was. Yeah, Jack LaLanne. He was, I don't know if he's still around or not, but he was like in his 70s, and he was fit, and he did the whole juice thing. So it just goes to show you that when you have optimal fitness and diet and nutrition, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can counteract some of these things that normally happen in people's bodies as they age, like diabetes, for example. So my road to health, was it an overnight success? It was not. It was months in the making, so going through chemotherapy, had plenty of time on my hands, was napping. I couple times went down the Google rabbit hole of research and found all these things, tried all these different juices and pills and that kind of stuff. And I got to say that there is not one pill or magic bullet or magic pill that can help alleviate all these symptoms and things that happen with chemo brain and brain fog. There isn't, but there is a combination of things that will help alleviate a lot of those symptoms. And what is that? Stay tuned. So, tip number one. So, this one I like because I am all about food, and it is all about food. So, food is mood. So, what does that mean? Food can affect what your mood is, because we are what we eat. Can you imagine if you ate all that candy right there that you see in that picture? It would spike up your insulin levels. Your gut health would be out of whack. It would affect your overall mood. So if you're not sure what foods do what with your body, I suggest you start out with a food log. So either you can do a paper log, pen and paper, write down what you eat, what time, how you feel after that, or do it digitally on your phone and keep track for a good solid week is good. So then you can kind of have and see if there's a pattern of certain foods and how they affect you. So for me, I know when I eat anything with wheat gluten, my body, my joints get stiff, and I get all phlegmed up. I noticed that there's a lot of phlegm buildup in my lungs, in my throat, and my gut. And what that is telling me is that wheat gluten it's not good for me. So the body is trying to get it out of my body by creating that extra phlegm so I can get it out. Excuse me. So as we all know, the modern American diet is filled with processed foods that cause inflammation. You go to the grocery store and it's full of processed foods. If it comes in a box, don't buy it. It's pretty simple, really. Even some of the things that say it's organic and it's in a box, it's been processed. Really, we all should try to make our own food, get it fresh at the farmer's market, and make our food fresh daily if possible. If possible, sometimes we can't do that, And if you can't do that, the next best thing is to get the organic. There are some organic foods like the vegetables that are frozen. I mean, that's good too. It's better than nothing. So, and then also to eliminate any inflammatory foods such as the gluten, sugar, white flour, anything that's processed, you try to want to get rid of. And then the refined carbs, trans fats, and aspartame. I don't know if you guys know about with aspartame. So there's a study done on sweeteners. So aspartame is a neurotoxin. And what happens is, besides ruining the gut bacteria in your gut, aspartame will. So if you imagine these are two neurons talking to each other. So normal neurons will talk to each other. So you'll be able to think and process things fast in your brain, because that's what your brain is supposed to do. So when you consume aspartame, the aspartame it covers the neurons, and hence the neurons have a harder time talking to each other. So you may experience brain fog, the chemo brain, maybe some dementia and that kind of stuff. And I should have pulled this article up for you guys on PubMed.com. They did a study on these sweeteners and what it does to the gut. And they found out that the gut is connected to the brain through the lymphatic system, which is pretty cool and amazing to know that. And then also to dehydration. Most people are dehydrated. And on average, you should be drinking at least, in my opinion, I feel really good when I drink at least a gallon of water a day. It may sound a lot, initially when you drink that much water, you may go to the bathroom a lot, but once your body gets used to it and stays hydrated, you'll feel good. And then part of that too is when you're hydrated, I don't know if you've experienced it. When you're dehydrated, you get those headaches and that kind of stuff, and you feel tired. Well, your body needs the hydration, because our body is composed of 90 some odd percent of water. And then our brain is basically water and fat. So if you're dehydrated, it's going to affect your brain health as well. So some of the best foods for your brain, we're looking at salmon. So make sure it's wild caught and not farm raised, because farm raised fish will have a lot of chemicals and GMOs and all that craziness. So salmon is really high in omega 3s. And then you're looking at olive oil. So think of the Mediterranean foods. Avocados are really good for the brain. Dark leafy greens, so spinach, kale, arugula, collard greens is really good. And then you got your nuts. So you're looking at walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds. And then also water again. Make sure you stay hydrated, because it's going to keep your brain hydrated as well. And then dark chocolate. Who knew? Dark chocolate. That's like, I can do dark chocolate. It doesn't mean that you eat dark chocolate all the time, even though you want to. But one of the side benefits of dark chocolate is that it increases blood flow. And how does the brain get all of its nutrients? Through the blood. So if you got increased and optimum and efficient blood flow to the brain, then your brain will be active and be less to have brain fog. So, and then also the rainbow vegetables. So we're looking at tomatoes, bell peppers, blueberries, eggplant, all those colorful fruits and veggies. If you can go for at least about a half a cup per meal, that would be great. It sounds a lot. I have a hard time doing half a cup a meal, but that's the best rate of those veggies that you should be doing there. So I got some little bonuses here for you guys. So get ready to take some screenshots out, get your phone out. I got 2 recipes for you. So the first recipe is a warm kale salad with a creamy tahini dressing. So screenshot that. I'm going to give you a couple seconds, and then I'm going to bring up the recipe here in 3, 2, 1. So here's the recipe. Go ahead and screenshot that or take a picture of it. And the next recipe is the salmon I can't say that. But it's a good dish. It's a good dish. Here's the recipe for you. And you got all kinds of great ingredients. You're looking at garlic. Garlic is so good for you. Parsley is good for cleansing the liver and the kidneys. And then you got that extra virgin olive oil, which is good for the brain. Asparagus. You got the rainbow vegetables. You got the bell peppers, the carrots, onions are so good too. And then zucchini. And then, of course, you got the salmon. Just make sure you get that wild caught salmon though. All right, tip number 2 is movement. Movement. And you would think that going through chemotherapy, you're too tired. I was too tired. And having exercise would be counterproductive or counterintuitive while going through chemotherapy. It's actually the best thing for the body. So there were studies done, and they said that cognition improved with moderate movements. So we're doing moderate. We're not doing like running a marathon or doing a HIIT or anything like that. So we're looking at moderate. So we're looking at light walking, for example. And the reason why is it increases blood flow to your brain, and it helps to stimulate the nerve cells and pathways, thus improving your thinking. So we're looking at 150 to 300 minutes per week. That's optimal. What I did was midway through chemotherapy, being exhausted and just plain old tired, I would maybe do 10 minutes of walking every day in the apartment here and then rest. So maybe 10, 20 minutes max for me. Then as I got off of chemotherapy, that amount of time of exercising would increase. So, and then, know your body. You know your limitations of what you can do. Listen to your body. If you feel you can't do any more than 10 or 15 minutes, stop and take a rest. And then also have an accountability partner, have that cheerleader, that best friend on your side, your caregiver, cheering you on as you start to ramp up your exercise routine while you're going through your treatment there. And also keep track of your progress. It's good to keep track. And the reason why I say that is you can look back and look at the progress and say, you know what, I actually improved. I actually got better through the whole ordeal. So, and then another benefit is it does stimulate and keep your lymphatic system active. Your lymphatic system is, think of it as the garbage disposal system in your body. So it takes all the toxins and trash and everything out of your body and eliminates that through through sweating, through breathing, and through urination, and eliminating as well. So, and the question comes up too, what if I can't move or I'm bedridden? So you can actually have a massage or a lymphatic massage, and then or maybe just do like 2 minutes of walking or raising your arms up and down. Just doing movements like this up and down will stimulate the lymphatic system as well, which is what's beneficial to your body. And for me, I challenge myself because I was active before having cancer, and it's like it drove me nuts sitting there and laying down looking at the sky, which was nice. It was the middle of summer, it was gorgeous outside, but it's like, oh my god, I can't sit here anymore. So I challenged myself to keep moving. And then also too, through some research, I knew that movement would help flush out the chemotherapy and the toxins out of my body, and the various drugs that I was on too. And then also far infrared sauna too, through sweating, would help out the body as well. And do some low impact exercises. If you having a hard time walking, try some water exercise. If you have access to a swimming pool, do some walking and body movement in a pool, which is low impact. And then also yoga. Yoga is really good too. And there I am after finishing chemo. As you can see, my hair was starting to come back pretty quickly there, and I'm there in the gym working out. Still felt kind of like crap though. So I want to share this with you guys. This is Dr. Catherine. She's talking about, is it safe to exercise during chemotherapy?
Is it safe to exercise during chemotherapy? We often imagine that if you're going through cancer treatment that you should just rest. Actually, that's the wrong thing to do. Exercise actually makes our chemotherapy treatment more effective, and it can reduce the risk of us going on to get other cancers or our same cancer returning. When we're going through chemo, our muscles weaken. It's very important we hang on to that muscle mass and protect our bones. So unless you have a problem where your balance is reduced or you might fall, exercise is important for everyone going through chemo.
So there you go. You heard from a doctor. It's totally okay to exercise during chemotherapy. All right. So tip number 3 is inflammation. Inflammation, you're going to find out, is the root cause of a lot of health challenges, but specifically here with brain inflammation and causing brain fog. So there was a study done. There's the reference link there on the bottom, the inflammation link. Research indicates that the cytokines released by the body to fight tumors, the tumor growth may lead to inflammation in the brain. And other research also attributes the chemo brain to other treatments in addition to the chemotherapy. So cognitive difficulties can occur from a number of treatment modalities. So does chemo cause inflammation? I would say yes. Chemotherapy does damage to the cells in the mucous membranes, so they become inflamed. It's a condition called mucositis. So this can lead to painful ulcers, bleeding, and infection. So mucositis is, it's usually temporary, goes away in a few weeks after treatment. So it varies on each person to person. I would say my best judgment, if a person has a bad health routine, bad nutrition, they eat like junk food and stuff like that, it may take a while for their body to recover from the mucositis. But if a person has a healthy diet, healthy lifestyle, the recovery time is going to be quicker. And it's kind of common sense. If the body is healthy, or at least somewhat healthy, the recovery time will be faster. So some anti-inflammatory foods. So I'm always going to come back to food because food is medicine. So some of the foods you're looking at tomatoes, the olive oil, those green leafy vegetables, again, spinach, kale, collards. My favorite is kale. And make sure on some of these green leafy vegetables, make sure they are purely organic, being that these vegetables are mostly their water content. So if they are not organic, they are going to soak up whatever pesticides and herbicides and all that crap in the soil. And then in the end, we'll be consuming that. So always focus on organic all the time, all the time. It's worth it to pay that extra money for it. And then also you're looking at almonds and walnuts, and then your fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, and then fruits such as strawberries, blueberries, and cherries and oranges. All right. So I got a bonus tip for you. So this bonus tip, you probably already know by looking at this picture, it is essential oils. So there are many, many, many health benefits of essential oils. And there are literally thousands of studies that have shown the beneficial uses of essential oils. And I can prove that. So when you get a moment, just remember the website, PubMed.com. Go to that website, do a search on essential oils. Last time I checked, it's been a couple months since I've checked that website, there were literally 11,000 clinical studies talking about various essential oils. So essential oils, obviously, certain ones will boost your mood. It can reduce stress, increases attentiveness, improves your sleep. And who doesn't want better sleep right now? I know this past year has been stressful for all of us, and our sleep patterns have been kind of out of whack. I know here in Minneapolis, where my husband and we live, during the riots after that gentleman got killed by that cop, there was here in Minneapolis, we're about 2 miles from Ground Zero, where the big riots were on Lake Street and the fires and all that craziness. We spent about a week staying up all night doing neighborhood watches and keeping a lookout for our neighborhood for all the rioters that came in town. We had our gas station across the street was burnt down. Our Walgreens across the street was looted and vandalized. So it was very, very stressful, to say the least. So, but luckily we had our essential oils, so that helped us to get some better sleep and get through that whole craziness. And some of the other benefits, you're looking at, it helps to reduce anxiety and pain, reduces inflammation, which is good for the brain, and then relieve some of the headaches nausea. And nausea, I did experience some nausea. I opted out not to take any drugs. I did take, for essential oil wise, I took ginger and cardamom. And I forgot to tell you too, when I was experiencing those hiccups, I actually looked up some Ayurvedic medicine, and cardamom tea got rid of my uncontrollable hiccups. So it's like, oh my gosh, I was so thankful that I was able to get rid of the hiccups, because it was nonstop, nonstop. You never want to go through that. So common essential oils and their uses. So we all know about lavender. Lavender can help with stress, pain, sleep. And this I did not know. So I found out that before they discovered antiseptics to use in hospitals and stuff like that, lavender was used as a cleaning agent in hospitals. So who knew? Who knew? Can you imagine those hospitals? Our hospitals now, if they use lavender for cleaning, it would probably be the most serene and stressful environment to go into the hospital. It smells like lavender. But now it smells like, excuse me, it smells like bleach and antiseptic. So that'd be great if they could do lavender in the hospitals. So, and then also peppermint is an anti-inflammatory, antifungal, and antimicrobial. Helps to ease headaches, fatigue, and the best part is it helps with digestion and support the memory and any upset stomach and the nausea too. So peppermint I used peppermint a lot to help with the nausea, and then yeah, it helped out. And then frankincense is another one of my favorites. It's known as the king of the oils. It can help with the inflammation, mood, and sleep. So how do you use essential oils? My take on it, here's what I do. I like to apply them on the bottom of my feet and take a screenshot of this. I don't know if you knew about this, about the bottoms of the feet. There are various corresponding acupressure points that correspond to different parts of the body. So if you're looking at working on some of your intestinal issues, take some peppermint, put it on the corresponding spots on the feet with the small and large intestines, and massage your feet. And that should help alleviate any intestinal distress that you may be going through. And then a second favorite way is diffusing it. So that's pretty easy. All kinds of diffusers that out there that you can choose from. And then also the third way is ingesting it. So my particular and favorite brand that I like to use is Young Living. And they have a line called Vitality. So it's made specifically for ingestion for human consumption there. So we're just about at the conclusion of this webinar here. Like I said, stick around for Q&A. I'm actually going to bring all you guys on as panelists, and I just got to figure out how to do that. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time being on this webinar here. And I just want to remind you that there is not one magic pill to alleviate and quote unquote fix chemo brain and brain fog. It's a combination of many things, and consistency in daily practice is key. You know, you can't just take one drop of ginger and it's magically gone. It just doesn't work like that. And then also be intentional with your healing process, you know, with the mind. Think positive thoughts, of survival and kicking whatever challenge you're working on, kicking it to the curb and conquering it. And then that's what I did. I chose health and vitality. You know, I'll share with you too. When I was in the cancer center before I received the chemotherapy, I would walk in and I would overhear the older patients. They would walk in and they would say, I'm here for my poison." I was like, don't say that, because I knew in my mind, it's like that you are actually I mean, the chemotherapy is killing you too, and the gut and stuff like that. But when you say that verbally, you're attracting that, and that's what's going to happen. Instead, what I'd said, I'm here for my healing. And then I would place my hands on the bag of drugs, and I would bless the chemotherapy and envision the chemotherapy healing my body and doing what it needed to do in my body. So be careful what you say, because it affects how your body is and how your life can be. So I got a little surprise for you guys. So I hope you guys love smoothie bowls. It's coming to the end. So your health starts in your gut. So now what? So do you choose to be on the same path of illness? I would hope not. But it's all, it comes down to choice. You get to choose which way do you go. Do you choose illness or do you choose health and happiness? So one of the ways you can choose the health and happiness is to get coaching with me. So why do you want coaching? So it creates accountability. So I would keep you on track, kick you in the butt when it's needed. I'll be your cheerleader, get your questions answered, and then help you learn about your specific needs when it comes to a healthy lifestyle. Plus, it's affordable. There's several options. So there's a DIY, that's a self-paced option. There's a DWI, it's a group setting, and then there's one-to-one coaching too. So I have starting in April 1st, a 30-day anti-inflammatory coaching program. So it's going to be focused on reducing inflammation in your body, focused on food. So there's a bunch of recipes. There's recipes for both omnivores and also vegetarians and vegans as well. So there are 3 options. So I offer the gold version. So that is it's a DIY. So that's self-paced. You don't get a coach with that, but you do get all the recipes, food journals, suggested meals, and then you do get bonuses too. So some of the bonuses you're going to get are anti-inflammatory energy balls. So that's a bunch of recipes on how to make those portable energy balls, anti-inflammatory smoothies. And then of course you do get lifetime access to the program. And then platinum, that is a group coaching setting. So that will be group coaching done on Facebook in a private group. And then the diamond level is one-to-one coaching with me. So even more goodies for you. I have a special for you. So it's a buy one, give one. So when you purchase any of the packages there, you can give one to a friend. So what better way to go through a 30-day anti-inflammatory program with a girlfriend or friend of yours? So it's buy one, give one. And so the special ends March 27th. So here in a couple of weeks, go ahead and screenshot that. And there's the link to get access to that. And I hope you like smoothie bowls. So I'm giving you guys this guide. It's 10 epic smoothie bowls to jumpstart your morning. So way to get it. If you got your cell phone on you, text number 44222, text the word Coach Steve, and then just follow the prompts after that to get that free guide on some epic smoothie bowls. Or you can go to that website link right there. So yeah, it has been a journey, couple years. Last year was actually my last time to get my yearly CT scans. I hit the 5-year mark where I don't need to get any more CT scans, so I was relieved. It's been a crazy ride. I'm actually grateful for having cancer because it showed me how beautiful and amazing my body is when I give it the right nutrition and food and thoughts and that kind of thing. And the human body is just it's amazing. It's amazing what it can do when you give the right tools. And and the best part now, my hair, it grows like crazy. If you know me, I'm 100% vegan. So I focus on all plant-based eating, and it's been really good for my body. And lastly, I want to say it is totally okay to blend allopathic and holistic modalities, to blend them together. Sometimes you have to in order to survive, and it's okay. It is totally okay to do that. And I'm proof that I made